There are always a handful of pop psychology buzzwords that are floating around the air, like spores. Mindfulness has been very big for the last few years, as if anybody has the faintest idea what that might mean. Two of my all-time favorites in this category are unconditional love and closure. It's my contention that there may be 7 people in the history of humankind who have ever experienced anything approaching closure or unconditional love. Most of us have the more familiar pain of having loved ones die, leaving us with a burlap sack full of unsaid regrets and resentments, heartfelt thanks, deep expressions of love never aired. The same tiny handful of blessed souls probably have only the faintest idea of what unconditional love may or may not feel like or be. However, having spilled all of that juice, I am pleased to tell you that with one wonderful person, I have experienced both of these mysteries we call unconditional love and closure. My Aunt Toby was my mother's kid sister. She was 24 years younger than my mother, 11 years older than me, and we grew up in the same house, and really I thought she was my sister. And we spent a lot of time together. She taught me how to dance, listening to Glenn Miller Orchestra on the radio. She taught me how to box, listening to Friday night fights on the radio. I used to do all her school cheers. She was a school cheerleader, Zis Boom Ba, you know. And she was a pretty good piano player, and her favorite song was Hoagie Carmichael's great romantic anthem, "Sometimes I wonder why I spend the lonely night," Stardust. And I would rock back and forth on the green sofa in the living room while she played. You may have noticed that I still rock often when I'm doing these pickles. I'm sort of rocking back and forth. We'll have to see someone about that and get some pharmaceutical to fix me up. In any event, she died of cancer, and she took quite a long time to die of cancer, and she had given me my whole life unconditional love. I used to go to the movies, and I'd come home and immediately run into the living room and tell her the entire plot of the movie. You know, I was like 6 or 7 or 8, and do all the songs and dances and so on. Once she took me to the Beacon Theater in Winnipeg when I was 6 years old, because they had a break and they had a live vaudeville show, and I got up and I sang, "Ever past the corner of 4th and Grand, there's a little ball of rhythm with a shoe shine stand. People gather round and they clap their hands. He's a great big bundle of joy, the Chattanooga shoeshine boy." In any event, when she died of cancer, and that went on for quite a while. And I did sit at her bedside, holding her hand when she was dying. And, you know, there was no fuss or bother. I mean, we just looked in each other's eyes, and I said, "Toby, I love you." And she said, "David, I love you." I got the same treatment from my Uncle Joey, who phoned me from his deathbed in the hospital to tell me that he loved me. I was overwhelmed. It's wonderful. So, Pickle, unconditional love and closure are rare treasures. If they happen to brush up against you, boy, count your blessings.